Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the bottom right side, as the dark gray Hawke, we have a foreign name. On top left side, as the orange star or red Cyrus, we got Benchwarmer2. To be honest, I can't tell you if this is orange or red. It can also go either way. Either way, when it comes to COs, Cyrus is technically a custom CO, even though he is a character in the game. 50% boarding cost, 3, 30, 60, 60, so standard radius and expansion. He does provide plus 15 offense defense like Penny, but his superpower is a little bit more in depth. You get, of course, plus 15% offense defense global. Your CO unit gets reverted back to unleveled status. Your CO unit gets maybe reboarded to any unweighted unit with no boarding costs, and of course, you also can fire a weak missile silo. But it is also one of your choice. Hawke is, of course, a character from previous games, 50% boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 70, 120. So he has 3 expansion COs and also a massive power bar, just like in any other Advanced Wars game. He provides a mix of the day-to-day default of 10% offensive defense for all units in CO zone, and also provides his own personal plus 10% from his previous games on offense only. Of course, he does apply that for his Black Wave. You get plus that global, plus 1% HP and minus 1 HP to all units at 50 energy cost, so it does drive pretty quickly. Or his superpower, which does cost 100, does this plus 20, plus 10 global, as well as 2 health restoration and minus 2 health to enemy units. Generally as well, you see 50 and 50 and 100, and you do keep leftover power charge with no negatives. So it is generally, in my opinion, better to go for multiple Black Waves, so you get multiple global plus 20, plus 10, get more use of that effect. Additionally, if you do go for your Black Storm, you can actually go over 120 energy, so you can help get a rebate of 20 energy or hold over up to 20 energy after your full superpower. So he can do a lot of power plays. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. I'm not sure, I may have missed what you were meaning about the change or difference. Though then again, some of the COs I do say they're unchanged or changed, but it's hard to say. Sorry, I sort of missed part of the conversation. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, as well as a pair of calm towers. There's also a decent number of shores and rivers, aka a bunch of puddles with or without sand. And also got these larger puddles with a bit of sea, salty seas. That's probably where Nessie's located at. Both players going for a decent amount of infantry, as well as some bikes being poured on out. There's some things to know as well when it comes to terrain. Ruins only provide 1 defense star, and they are equal to planes when it comes to movement. So they provide not great movement, while the Mist on planes does provide 2 defense stars. So these are better terrains than this terrain. You ignore this terrain existing when there's no fog of war, because it means absolutely nothing compared to planes. There is a river, sort of, pond there next to the comm tower, which makes it a little bit difficult to reach it. And now Cyrus has loaded himself up into a bike. He can always tech up his CO unit by getting CO power, so loading up into a cheaper unit, one who can just go around providing buffs and generate power charge, not a bad concept. Hawke would like to load himself up in this tank there. Yes, he did. Plus 45, plus 45%. Of course, 10% that is from the 1 defense star of the ruins. Comparison here, plus 35%, plus 45%. Of course, 1 defense star of that is of the ruins. And also, he does have a Hawke does have a comm tower, while Cyrus does not. And Cyrus's comm tower did get interrupted. He is going to try to secure it, but he's going to need to take time to secure it. We do have our artillery piece here to protect his flank, so pushing forward the tank, command tank forward like that's not a great idea. Pushing up north is a better option. Tank, infantry, tank. Artillery heading down south. And does take, oh, does not take the back spike there. He does leave at 9% health, so it's not even close. Picks off that 4 health infantry unit there. Anti-air battlecopter. That's odd. Red card does actually remind me of Red Star cards from Super Famicom Roar. I'm pretty sure that's actually technically... I think they renamed Red Star to Orange Star when it came to Advanced Wars 1 because the term Red Star means, well, Soviet, communism, all that sort. And when it comes to unit design, Orange Star is supposed to be the US hardware, while Blue Moon is the Russian hardware, Soviet hardware mostly. Yellow Comet, or is of course the World War II Japanese hardware, and of course Green Earth is a mix of both British and German hardware. Mostly German, but a bit of British. After all, Drake is definitely supposed to be British. I mean, he summons rain. You can't be any more British than him. And also British, Navy, yeah, definitely. Rain and Navy, that's definitely British. But apparently as well, I've been told in the reboot camp, they renamed Yellow Comet to Gold Comet. Because, why? DEI can't have the Japanese be called yellow, which in any other game would be probably makes sense, but this is of course a Japanese game, so yes. Of course, in both Advanced Wars by Web and, of course, Days of Ruin, they have a little bit more color palettes. In this case, in Tiny Wars, I should say, offer just basic color palette swaps. Well, Advanced Wars by Web actually did implement the whole new, like, color scheme designs with actually a bit more drastic changes, like Cobalt Blue being penguin people. Not familiar with exactly Yellow Ranger as a term. Something I'll probably look up. This probably know what it is, just need a bit of a reminder. But we do have a decent amount of tanks here, anti-air battlecopter, infantry. Hawke doesn't have too much hip here, just tank and artillery. The artillery could just plant itself behind this river there for a bit of coverage. Of course, Hawke does have a decent force here, including triple tanks, battlecopter, and anti-air, with another tank rate in reserve. This battlecopter should head up north, does head up north. You just have to snipe the anti-air so the battlecopter more free reign, such as at the opposing battlecopter. Cyrus has in turn 80 or 98,000. Hawke's has turned to 95, so Hawke does have a slight advantage at the moment. Wait, now think about it. Is Yellow Ranger involving the Power Rangers? Not sure. First thing came to mind when I heard that term. Anti-air battlecopter. Oh, and also got a base skip there. Not enough money for a infantry unit. Should we head up north? You have this anti-air there. This wall can be broken with that 5 of infantry in there, but nothing really exploited. Hawke rotated his command take up north, so we're going to see both sides line up for a big fight here. Cyrus has 23 energy, Hawke has 15, and things will charging forward to get power charge. Will probably result in not deploying the superpower or power that turn. Both would have very powerful power. Cyrus, of course, can fire a missile silo doing 2 damage in a small radius, a weak missile silo. While Hawke, of course, can do 1 and or 2 damage global, likely 1 damage global. 100 energy is a pretty tall order, but given the size of the front lines, it's actually quite feasible to get a Black Storm. If Hawke gets struck by Cyrus's power first, of course he can partially heal it back, assuming he's still alive afterwards. And Cyrus's unit is inside of a bike, which is easy to be picked off, but also not important of spending his turn attacking, just fall back and pop its power. Looks like both players are rotating upwards to 1 to 4 corners of this earth. Take that, globe cards. Anti-air, infantry, anti-air. And now I've got a war tank by Cyrus, so that's going to be what he's going to either reload the CO unit into with his superpower. You can also help him break the stalemate. Got a gun of battle coppers and tanks by Hawke. Cyrus also has a good number of battle coppers and tanks, but 1 anti-air. Both sides starting to mix in some more anti-airs. Got 2 anti-airs here. When did that happen? Because I was growing up, there's always been a Yellow Ranger. I think the only Power Ranger I watched was the bit of the Ninja, then the Dino, and then, of course, the Magic one. There was also the Copper one, which all had Yellow Rangers, right? I don't know. People find a reason to complain about everything. And all those actors were white, weren't they? So it makes even no sense as well. It's the primary colors. Don't overthink it. It's a children's fighting show. Looks like red is starting to fall back. And looks like red's starting to front shift a little bit. This is going to be one big stalemate. I have no idea how it goes, because if one person charges forward, the other person can counterattack and will likely get more units attack. Of course, the other player will get his first strike in. If the first strike doesn't do enough damage, then the counterattack would be quite severe. And then, of course, whatever's left could get another good attack then where all the range is simply... all units will simply just be in range. It's hard to say how this will go. Good picks over there. Looks like Hawke found a breakthrough over here. Though there are only 2 tanks here. He does have 2 tanks. Battle Copper is exactly what he needs to help stabilize the region. Next unit over here will probably be anti-air. Tank's actually going to strike the anti there. Takes out that anti-air there. Oh, so it's focused on the anti-air, so he's going to try to bring some battle coppers over here to retaliate. Rather than trying to focus on the tanks, he's going to try to focus on the anti-airs. And Cyrus is putting a bit more aggression over here. Does have a decent screen of infantry. War tank, not in the greatest position. Can still get out over here pretty well. Hawke will probably need to try to rotate his units around here-ish. It's hard to say exactly. Stalemates is something I would hate to be in. When it comes to stalemates, I always jump the gun. You now have a bomber deployed on the field. Infantry. Both players have pulled out some powerful units. One power charge. One of many out of many more. Looks like Cyrus is able to push forward. In fact, if he continues pushing down south, Hawke will be split in half. It can be both a good or bad thing. After all, elastic defense as an idea means if you push forward, units will just simply gather up around it, and then you could simply cut them off and squeeze them through. But of course, it's not necessarily a standard RTS or any other games involving logistics, so that doesn't really matter too much. But also means it's easy to be surrounded, which means because there's going to be more surface area to attack you than what you can inflict. Hawke does have also 23,000 for 17,000, so flipping some properties like this is important. And also, Hawke is able to push forward up here. You may need to get a tank reinforced up here to help engage this tank. But overall, Hawke can make some plays to make that happen up here. Rotate those veterans to one tank up here. Let's see, bike, anti-air, battlecopter. His front lines are definitely closed on in. He has pulled back some of these units out of this, so preventing them from being cut off. And does rotate a tank up there. Another Fantasy 1 tank, but inadequate tank. I don't think that hitting that anti-air was a good idea. Now this artillery can strike that tank there. And it's going to need to rotate a battlecopter up here to make it worthwhile taking out that anti-air. Also, if we see another tank up here as well. This doesn't seem a good attack to me. And the bike and infantry would strike this infantry there and then hit the mech as well. Yeah, I think Hawke's going to get some good work done up there. Cyrus is starting to make some gains down south, trying to capture them with properties, trying to flip them. Battlecopters and infantry in the region, so this AP is all he really needs to stop them. Another war tank up north. And I think Hawke could try charging forward. He might be pushing forward. Yeah, it looks like we're going to see that big conflict. Gets 32 energies. That gives him +1 CO zone. These members 30, 70, 120. Getting good dancer. Has Black Wave. Can't pop this turn. Cyrus has 39 energy as well. The command bike's there. Looks like the command bike should be safe. Could be bombed by the bomber. Strikes a war tank, that's probably a better target. Remember as well, Black Wave can restore the health of half the damage from the missile silo from Cyrus. Cyrus should be able to get his power charge. He only needs 11 more energy. That's or 21 energy. That actually is going to be very simple in this situation. And like I said, well, looks like Hawke's able to get a breakthrough there. Taking out that anti-air was not a good idea. Left him too exposed. Battlecopter. Tank. Bike. Cyrus' turn. 21 energy. Very easy to do. And, oh. And resign button. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. Sorry for that. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.